Tonight on CTV News at 6, a call for help.
We need 23 extra beds just to maintain service levels.
A union is asking for more funding from the province for hospitals. A warning from physicians.
They may be on the right track, and if they're not, I need to spend a bit of time to educate them.
More Canadians are skipping their doctors and getting health advice from artificial intelligence. And they're young and eager.
It's been pretty good so far. We've had fun playing, even though we've lost our games.
Timmins is hosting the country in the U18 Curling Championships.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. So glad you're with us on this Tuesday. There was an expanded police presence in the south end of North Bay late this afternoon as officers searched for a missing 62-year-old. Police taped off this home in the 200 block of Mulligan Street and searched through its backyard as part of the investigation. Officers say Pierre, a 62-year-old man, was last seen 11 days ago in the area. Investigators told CTV News this morning they were concerned for his well-being. Pierre is described as having a short, medium build, 5'11" with black and gray hair past his shoulders. He was last seen wearing a Harley-Davidson t-shirt, blue jeans, a blue baseball cap, and brown jacket. Anyone with information is asked to contact the North Bay Police non-emergency line and press 5 to speak with an officer. CTV News is following this story and will have more information when it becomes available. An overturned vehicle near the Copper Cliff area of Greater Sudbury reduced traffic to one lane late this afternoon. Police are on scene, but there's no word yet if there are any injuries. The cause of the crash is still unknown. OPP near Espanola have seized nearly $120,000 in illicit drugs. Over the weekend, police tagged a driver doing 99 kilometers an hour in a 60 zone. When they pulled the 31-year-old driver over, police found he had a suspended license and arrested him. A further investigation revealed cocaine and oxycodone. A 31-year-old man from Thunder Bay has been charged with trafficking and other offenses. North Bay police seized more than $9,000 in drugs after the automatic license plate reader flagged a stolen vehicle. More than 600 grams of meth and other illicit drugs, along with brass knuckles and a Glock-style pellet gun, were seized. The bust happened Friday on McIntyre Street when the ALPR flagged the Ford 250 as stolen. 4 Northerners now face multiple trafficking charges. The union representing hospital workers across Ontario, including the Northeast, is calling on the province to increase healthcare funding. It adds that without more resources, the crisis in hospitals will continue. CTV's Angela Gemmell reports.
We need 23 extra beds just to maintain service levels.
Researcher Doug Allen points to a graph showing a need for more hospital beds in Sudbury. The stats are part of a new projection report.
We need a bump up in hospital funding for this fiscal year, and we need a budget that allows hospitals to plan and to develop and grow and serve their communities so that we don't have this crisis getting worse and worse.
The report is from the Ontario Council of Hospital Unions, a division of the Canadian Union of Public Employees. It says hospitals have been told by the province to plan for 2% funding increases over the next few years, which is a drop from the 6% average in recent years. The union is predicting projections based on the new funding figures and is concerned the shortfalls will lead to job losses, reduced hospital beds, and higher wait times.
Really, we're saying that there needs to be an injection of resources into the hospitals to allow them to cope with the pressures of an aging and growing population, and cutting them is completely unacceptable.
In an email to CTV News, the Ministry of Health calls the claims misguided and adds, in part, we continue to make record investments in our healthcare system, including investing $91.5 billion this year alone. This includes a 4% increase in investment to the hospital sector for an unprecedented third year in a row. The duo is touring the report around the province, including in Northern Ontario, where there's been job cuts at the hospital in North Bay, high capacity issues in Sudbury, and continual closures in the Algoma region.
The hospital emergency room shutdowns that we've seen have occurred in smaller communities because that's where the crisis first manifests. We're very worried about what will happen in the north.
The ministry reiterates the changes being made by hospitals are for efficiencies and don't affect patient care. Without extra funding, the union says the crisis in Ontario hospitals will worsen and translate to a 3 to 4% decline in quality patient care. It wants the provincial government to invest in multi-year commitments to stable funding. Angela Gamble, CTV News, Sudbury.
More Canadians are bypassing the doctor's office for artificial intelligence. A new survey from the Canadian Medical Association warns that seeking medical advice from AI can do more harm than good, but not all agree. CTV's Amanda Hicks has reaction from Sudbury.
Dr. Maurice St. Martin has seen medicine evolve over 4 decades. Lately, he says patients arriving at his Sudbury office are increasingly using AI to seek out information.
That has happened a few times. And then my job, is to find out what they're looking for, what's their concern, and then allay their concerns appropriately. They may be on the right track, and if they're not, I need to spend a bit of time to educate them.
It's a trend reflected in a new study by the Canadian Medical Association. After surveying 5,000 Canadians, the data shows nearly everyone is going online for health answers. Half of those surveyed are using AI tools like Google or ChatGPT, and roughly 2,500 of them are taking treatment advice from an algorithm.
They do not have either a family doctor, or they do not have a nurse practitioner or a team to which they can go to. If they do, sometimes they want that information very quickly. It's more convenient to go online than to book an appointment.
However, the CMA says AI-driven misinformation is causing real-world physical harm.
Those individuals that then accept the treatment recommended on the AI platforms are having an increased risk of adverse effects 5 times the amount than if they do not follow that advice.
St. Martin believes that if used correctly, AI isn't a replacement for a doctor. It's just another tool in the medical toolbox.
I applaud patients that take the effort to try to research some of their symptoms and problems. I do expect that I will be respected with my opinion, my experience, but at the end of the day, you're still the boss for yourself.
Burnell says the solution is to increase access to family-based care teams so that when Canadians do have a medical question, they don't have to turn to an algorithm for the answer. Amanda Hicks, CTV News, Sudbury.
Now to the weather. Let's talk about the snow. We received some today. Any more on the way? For that answer, let's bring in CTV's Rick Wyman.
It'll die down, Tony. We've got some flurries in the forecast for this evening and overnight, and of course then some better weather. We take a look at our systems map courtesy of Environment Canada, and of course this is what we've got to deal with right now. We've got some ongoing flurries throughout the entire Northeast. We'll delve into that a little bit later on with our current temperatures and a lot more, but I can tell you, Tony, that there is some sun, warmer temperatures, and more enjoyable weather coming up in just a couple of days. So bear with me right now. We'll get through this tonight and into tomorrow, then it'll start to perk up. You'll like the weekend weather forecast coming up. Back to you.
Okay, thanks, Rick. Can't wait. A nonprofit in Sudbury is dealt a blow. Still to come on CTV News at 6. What happened to Closet Share? But first, we're going to Parry Sound and a live webcam of the town dock. This shot is courtesy of Northern Creations. Right now, it's -2 degrees. We'll return after these brief commercial messages.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
A nonprofit organization in Sudbury that provides free clothing to the community through donations is now in need of help. It sustained significant flooding over the weekend and will be closed for quite some time. CTV's Lindsay Alick reports.
This is what Melissa Porter walked into yesterday.
There was just water pouring everywhere, and I don't know how long it was happening for. So it could have been all weekend, right? So then I looked at the cameras to see if it would have picked up anything, and the cameras were off since 7 p.m. on Friday. So I think they got water damage.
Sudbury police confirmed that a break and enter was reported at the location, saying the B&E is believed to have occurred between Friday evening and Monday morning. The incident was reported by another tenant of the building. However, it was determined that the water damage affected the basement and main levels of the building.
It's under investigation. I don't want to put, too much pressure on that itself. But it really breaks my heart because that's what I do. I'm here to help people, right? So when I hear something like that, I think that if you just ask people for help instead of doing something this detrimental, then at the end of the day, there's always going to be someone there to help you.
Unfortunately, this isn't the only challenge Closet Share has faced. Porter says every week volunteers are left to clean up following break-and-enters of their donation bins.
We gained access to the gym, and now we're losing the gym. So that was our access to our revenue, our courses, our classes. So all that's been shut down. The website, losing our intern. It's just been a very big, slopey road that, you just one day hope that everything falls into place. But then this was just the cherry on top.
The closure affects over 100 volunteers. Porter says an insurance claim has been filed, and she hopes to rebuild for their sake, no matter how hard it is going to be. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford is doubling down on keeping American liquor off the shelves following recent comments from President Trump.
I encourage people not to back off on it. This is key that we even double down if we have to. We're the largest purchaser of alcohol in the entire world, and that's one of our key negotiating areas that we can resolve within a minute.
The comments come after Trump criticized the Ontario government's ban on American liquor. The ban has been ongoing since last year in response to U.S. tariffs on Canadian goods. Ford says he is not backing off and that he wants Trump to remove the tariffs. The city of Greater Sudbury is adding 5 warming huts to the local trail plan. CTV's Madison Merrier has more.
We're excited to invest $125,000 towards this $234,000 trail enhancement project.
The snow was the ideal weather for riders and Sudbury representatives speaking about the new addition of warming huts on the Sudbury trails.
So we're looking at about 1,500 to 2,000, hotel room nights a year, which, looking at about a $6 million spin-off just from the trail system, which is fantastic for the region.
We have over 1,700 kilometers of snowmobile trails, and with these 5 huts, it creates a better experience for riders. They get to stay out on the trails longer. It's safe for them. They'll be equipped with charging stations, warming.
Seville said the huts will increase the sense of community for riders and also offer shelter in emergency situations.
If you do get stuck somewhere, to have somewhere to go in that's sheltered, hopefully has some wood, maybe even a fire already going. It's great for everybody to be able to do that and get to a place where they can potentially survive for days if need be.
When members from the trail plan created the proposal, they requested that students from post-secondary and high schools were involved in the construction of the ice huts.
We're going to need these kids coming in the future, right? We're going to need the carpenters, we're going to need the electricians, we're going to need the plumbers. So any skilled trades that we can get them and start them somewhere, nothing beats hands-on experience.
It was a real collaboration of the different steps that went into building, from the structure to the installing the fire places. So it was a real group effort, and it really increased the skills for the students.
The warming huts are installed along the trails and ready for snowmobiler use, especially on days like today with ideal sledding conditions. Madison Merrier, CTV News, Garson.
A family of 5 are proud new homeowners thanks to a program by the Sault Social Services Board. CTV's Corey Nordstrom was on hand as the Taylor family received the keys to their new place, a house transformed as part of the Affordable Home Ownership Program.
I'm really excited for this new adventure, new beginnings. The next chapter starts now for Danielle Taylor and her family of 5. Alongside husband Justin, daughter Kaylee, and sons Caleb and Jaden, the family is moving into the newest home through the Sault Social Services Affordable Home Ownership Program. It's through that program where Ontario Works and Ontario Disability Support Program clients transformed a building that needed some TLC.
This house was vacant before it was purchased by the Housing Corp. It was, I think, a good news story for the neighborhood, for the Housing Corp to be able to buy it and turn it into what you see today.
I have been working in this house in the fall, and I learned a lot of interesting stuff here because in Kyrgyzstan, in my homeland, I have a different standard.
I didn't realize how much effort and how much work that involved doing something like this program, and honestly, it's the best feeling to know that we got a house.
The Taylors purchased the home for the same price it was originally bought by the Sault Social Services, and with their new keys in hand, showed off their favorite features to the people that helped make it happen.
My room, that's what I like, because it's bigger, unlike my tiny room, and I don't have a lousy neighbor banging on my wall.
The Affordable Home Ownership Program is totally unique to Sault Ste. Marie, and local officials have long been saying that it needs to be adopted elsewhere in the province. With Ontario's Labour Minister on hand, it presented an opportunity to show him the money from the Skills Development Fund in action.
Over 100,000 people in Ontario have landed a job who are under or unemployed, and that's the impact that this program is having. And you don't see that anywhere better than right here, where 171 people have gone through to learn a skill set and land a job, and then we're providing affordable housing opportunities.
This is the 5th home completed as part of the program. Crews are currently working on the next 2 houses. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
Back now for a check on your current conditions. Once again, here's Rick.
Well, last night I said, Tony, that the temperatures are, well, actually warmer than the previous night. They're even warmer yet because of this evening and the snow. That low pressure system moving out by tomorrow. So we'll check out some temperatures and get into the 7-day forecast and a lot more. As you can see right now, let's check out Moosonee and see what the temperature is this hour. -8 degrees, -7 in Cochrane, -6 in Timmins, -3 in Kapuskasing. Who would have thought on this very date? -3 degrees in Kapuskasing, -3 in Chapleau, -1 in Wawa, -1 in the Sioux as well. In Parry Sound, we've got -1, cloud cover there. North Bay -6, Temiskaming Shores -8, and Kirkland Lake -8. Greater Sudbury -4, mainly cloudy, -2 in Espanola, -2 in Elliott Lake, and -2 in Gore Bay. Some beautiful temperatures right now. Let's hope that trend continues. And it will, because we've got some sunshine and some milder weather in the forecast. Details on the 7-day forecast, Tony.
Thanks, Rick. Economic importance. Next on CTV News at 6. U.S. President Trump is threatening to block the opening of a bridge linking Windsor and Detroit. And it's the largest winter carnival in Northern Ontario. We are days away from Monsoon. It will be sorted out. Prime Minister Carney's comment after an early morning phone call with the U.S. President. Donald Trump is threatening to block the opening of a major trade corridor between Windsor and Detroit. CTV's Mike LeCouture has more.
Canada, of course, paid for the construction of the bridge, over $4 billion.
Prime Minister Carney said he laid out that fact to President Trump in an early morning call that he described as positive. He also cleared up Trump's misconception about the construction of the span.
Obviously, there's Canadian steel, Canadian workers, but also U.S. steel, U.S. workers that are involved. This is a great example of cooperation between our countries.
Ownership of the bridge is clearly spelled out according to the 2017 agreement. The crossing will be publicly owned jointly by Canada and Michigan. Yet Trump's officials insist there are issues.
There's a question as to the proceeds of tolls, et cetera, and so there's going to be a negotiation on that front into how that bridge should be treated. If it's going to be going into the U.S.
According to the agreement, Canada will collect tolls until it recoups the costs related to construction. After that, they're split between Canada and Michigan. One former ambassador says there's a reason the president gets things so wrong.
You've got a bunch of crackpot advisors in the White House who misinform the president, who already likes to have tantrums, and lash out and try to get leverage or extort things.
In Trump's online tirade, he also took aim at the Ontario ban on American alcohol, which the Premier says won't change.
It's obviously working. It's an irritant. But there's one thing President Trump can do: get rid of Canadian tariffs.
Now, it's unclear if tariffs were discussed on the call, but Prime Minister Carney did say the president asked his ambassador to Canada and Michigan native Pete Hoekstra to continue the conversation and bridge the apparent gap. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
And Ottawa unveiling part of its new automotive strategy today with a plan to overcome concerns about electric vehicle range by boosting the number of charging stations across the country.
That's why our new government is bolstering our support for the national charging network, and together with a new regulatory approach and purchase incentive program, this will give Canadians confidence, give industry certainty, and give investors reason to commit capital here in Canada.
As part of the strategy, the federal government is announcing more than $97 million for 155 clean transportation projects across Canada. Just over $84 million will be used to install more than 8,000 electric vehicle chargers to Canada's current stock of more than 30,000 chargers. Federal service workers are gearing up for major changes this summer with requirements to work in the office at least 4 days a week. But such a change is prompting some to raise concerns over what they call horrendous working conditions. CTV's Katie Griffin explains.
As federal workers prepare to spend more time in the office, a warning from Canada's largest public sector union.
Currently, the conditions within the offices are horrendous. There's still issues with the buildings. There's bed bugs, pests. We're talking about mice, bats. There's just issues with the actual setup, and there's not enough space.
This comes after a new directive was issued last week requiring most federal public service workers to be in the office 4 days a week as of July 6th.
We know that they've grown by tens of thousands of people since the pandemic, and we know that they've downsized space. So we're concerned that the math equation might not be working.
Commercial real estate expert Sean Hamilton says the government needs a strategy and a plan.
There is a solution that the federal government could offer, high quality space to its workforce by leasing space from the private sector, essentially taking the space back that they divested of.
The federal budget outlined a plan for Public Services and Procurement Canada to reduce its office portfolio by 50% over the next 10 years. In a statement, the department says given the increase of on-site presence for employees, the reduction target will be adjusted accordingly. Planning in this regard is underway. The new in-office mandate prompting PSAC to file an unfair labor practice complaint.
People's mental health has been impacted, and now they're told, by the way, we're changing your working conditions and you're required to come in 4 days a week. It doesn't make sense.
Katie Griffin, CTV News.
And there's more news still ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Rick.
Tony, I come to work every day, my 5 days a week. I never miss the weather. That's what it's all about. I come to work. I don't have to stay at home to do this job. That's just the way I roll. Forecast radar, we've got some precipitation leaving the Northeast, and I love my job. As we get ready for some sunshine and warmer temperatures, of course, over the course, really between now and next Monday, Tuesday, we're going to be lucky. Light snow in Greater Sudbury overnight. Sault Ste. Marie, light snow. More of the same in Timmins, Temiskaming Shores, and North Bay. Elsewhere, snow in Moosonee, a couple of centimeters. Light snow, Caphurst, Wawa, light snow. Wind chill, Gore Bay, minus 32, and Perry Sound, flurries, a couple of centimeters. Here we go. 7-day forecast numbers, Sudbury, Nickel Belt. Chance of flurries for tomorrow, Thursday, some sun and cloud. Chance of flurries on Friday, sun and cloud on Saturday, -1. -1 again on Sunday, chance of flurries, and the chance of flurries on Monday. +1, +2 by Tuesday of next week. In the Sioux and Algoma, chance of flurries for tomorrow, -4, -4 on Thursday. Friday, we've got chance of flurries at 2 degrees, 2 degrees on Saturday. Sunday, chance of flurries +1. +1 on Monday as well with the chance of flurries, and 2 degrees by Tuesday of next week. Not bad. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing. Chance of flurries tomorrow, -9, -8 on Thursday, warming up. Friday, chance of flurries -3, -1 Saturday, some sun and cloud. Chance of flurries on Sunday, 0, -1 on Monday with the chance of flurries as well. Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake. Chance of flurries Wednesday, -7, -7 with the sunshine. For this time of the year, that's a pretty good reading. It gets even better. -2 on Friday with the chance of flurries at 60%. Saturday, how about this? Sun and cloud -2, -2 on Sunday with the cloud, 0 on Monday with a 40% chance of flurries. Yes, it will get better. Then there's North Bay and West Nipissing. Now, North Bay and West Nipissing went through a lot of snow in the last little while. It does get better as well. Chance of flurries -3, -6 for Thursday, some sun and cloud. Chance of flurries on Friday -1, -1 again on Saturday, sun and cloud. Sunday, -1 again. Chance of flurries, and the chance of flurries come Monday, +1. So you're taking a look at the normals for each and every community across Northeastern Ontario. Forget about it. We're not even close to the normals for this time of the year with some of the approaching temperatures. So it'll get milder and really no indication of any serious snowfall. So we'll get a break in the action in terms of snow shoveling and what have you. So let's check out our pick of the day, which involves some snow and a dog. This is Bo. Thank you, Michael Fortesky. Take a look. Here it comes. The faceplant, courtesy of Bo. He just loves it. Here it is, instant replay. Great dog. He's a Bernese Mountain Dog. And of course, we love dogs on this show. That's why we feature them. So perhaps your pick could be on tomorrow's show. Just let us know. Stick around. Tony has more news coming up after the break.
We are counting down the days to Northern Ontario's largest winter carnival. Sault Ste. Marie is celebrating winter for 9 days and all the season has to offer. Let's bring in Amelia Morris. She is the Vice President of the Bonsu Winter Carnival Board of Directors. Hi there, Amelia.
Hi.
So this is the 63rd edition of Bonsu, and the carnival kicks off Friday with the opening ceremony. Are thousands of people expected to attend? What do you think?
Absolutely, and the forecast is looking great. It's not going to be too cold, they say, so we're hoping to have, maybe a record level of attendance.
When you say record level, I remember seeing somebody used to say between 4,000 and 6,000. Is that still the case year over year?
Absolutely, it is. Last year we had quite the blizzard on opening ceremonies, which might have tempered it down a bit, but that absolutely is something you can count on year over year.
And what other events, can people enjoy at Bonsu? Give our viewers a sample, if you will.
Absolutely. So we have over 90 unique events. 30 of those are new this year. So people can expect favorites like the bum slides, the polar bear plunge, frozen canoe rides, and they can also expect a whole lot of new events. So we have themed skates, we have a fish fry, a cornhole tournament, a bunch of different comedy acts, and some other things that are new this year.
And I understand Mr. Bonsu is going to be there, right, for the duration of the Winter Carnival?
Mr. Bonsu is everybody's favorite, and yes, he will be there throughout the carnival. You can look forward to seeing him.
Do you have more than one Mr. Bonsu, or is there a Ms. Bonsu?
Well, we do have more than one Mr. Bonsu, and there is not a Mr. Bonsu just yet.
Amelia, give us a sense. What is the mood like in the community? We all know about the U.S. tariffs on Algoma steel and the 1,000 people going to be laid off next month. But what's the vibe in the community?
Yeah, absolutely. And we would like to extend our sympathy to community members who are going through any hardship due to those changes. But we're still seeing a lot of high spirits and excitement for Bonsu this year, and we really hope that it can provide a positive and affordable week of winter entertainment when there might not otherwise be.
Amelia, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
You're so welcome, and we hope to see you there.
Amelia Morris joined us from Sault Ste. Marie. To find out more about the North's largest winter carnival, head to bonsu.on.ca. With the cost of living increasing, it can be difficult to pay your bills, and a new survey finds many Canadians don't bother having life insurance. But if you have children or other dependents, it's something you may want to include as part of your financial picture. CTV's Pat Foran has details.
Okay, let's just try this way.
Pamela and Luigi Lacorte Vaughn are getting ready for a birthday party for their twins who are turning 1 year old. Even before they started a family, they decided to get life insurance as part of their financial plan.
Now that we have 2 kids, it makes me feel so much more relieved. It's part of our budget now. We don't even think twice about it.
A life insurance survey by Policy Me found 42% of Canadians don't have life insurance or are unsure if they do, and 65% said they are unlikely to get life insurance in the next 5 years. The Lacortes say for them, it was an important part of their fiscal strategy.
It's not much given the psychological benefit knowing that if you pass, your kids are set up, your mortgage can be paid off, and they won't have any burden.
When it comes to life insurance, people don't think about their death.
Policy Me specializes in term policies and says life insurance is not as expensive as many people think. A 20-year term policy for $250,000 for a 35-year-old man who is healthy and a non-smoker is about $19 a month. For a 35-year-old woman, the same coverage is about $15 a month. Once locked in, rates won't go up and you can cancel at any time.
The point of life insurance is really to make sure that if that future income were to, not be around because because you pass away, that there is still money there to support the people who are relying on you.
Life insurance is a critical part of asset protection.
Financial expert Evelyn Jack says families should have a will along with life insurance and says when policies are cashed in, they're tax-free.
It's a transaction you should do for yourself and your family to give you some peace of mind.
Finding extra money for another monthly expense can be difficult, but it may be worth it to know in the event of your death, your loved ones will be looked after. Pat Foran, CTV News.
A Quebec man has been charged in a fraud case that involved nearly $1 million. Manitoulin OPP say a victim was defrauded of more than $900,000 through a cyber financial fraud where the victim was impersonated and led to transfers related to banking accounts. The investigation began when the fraud was reported in October 2024. The suspect, a 54-year-old man from Quebec, was arrested last month after a multi-agency investigation. You can read more about this story on our website, CTV News Northern Ontario.ca. Canada's major airlines have now suspended service to Cuba as the island warns of a fuel shortage.
By the typical definition of what we think of as a failed state, Cuba is sort of on the cusp of it.
The move comes as Cuba experiences its worst economic crisis in nearly 70 years. WestJet, Air Transat, and Air Canada are all suspending flights to the island. All 3 airlines say they have contingency plans to get Canadians home. For decades, Venezuela has been the primary source of oil for Cuba. That source was cut off when the United States captured Venezuela's president in January. That's when U.S. President Trump said he would impose tariffs on any country that sells or provides oil to Cuba.
Sure, it's stressful, and that, it was stressful, a little bit stressful before, and we were in touch with WestJet previous to our departure. But the Government of Canada travel advisory came out, so we followed up on that, and they said there's nothing they can do. Well, when we got here, I guess Sunday, they changed their rating to say, you can cancel without penalty, you can do all that. And these are all the questions we were asking in advance, but we left, I guess, a couple of days before those options were available.
Global Affairs Canada says that as of Monday, just over 7,200 Canadians are registered as being in Cuba. The island's oil previously came largely from 3 countries, Russia, Mexico, and Venezuela. Remarkable scenes out of Georgia where a small plane made an emergency landing on a busy street yesterday, just moments after one of the pilots sent a final message to his family. This dramatic video shows the small plane streaking towards the road, touching down and slamming into vehicles before coming to a stop. The aircraft had taken off nearby and was trying to turn back when it developed engine trouble. 2 pilots and a student were on board shortly before one of those pilots sent a desperate goodbye.
We're not going to make it. Please tell my wife, Molly, I love her, and my parents. I love them so much.
However, that would not be a final goodbye as both pilots walk away unharmed and 2 other people suffered only minor injuries. The cause of the incident is being investigated. And stunning video tonight of a truck fire in Harley Township north of Timiskaming Shores. This video from Chris Rame shows dark plumes of smoke from the fire on Highway 11 between North Quarry Road and Maybrook Road. According to 511.ca, the highway was already closed due to weather conditions. People posted photos and videos to Facebook of the fire, which people say involved multiple vehicles. At this time, police have not confirmed details or if there are any injuries. They have a bright future ahead of themselves. Still ahead on CTV News at 6. In Timmins, the city is hosting a U18 national curling competition.
Clothing provided by Laura, Melanie Lynn.
The McIntyre Curling Club is hosting the Canadian U18 Curling Championships this week in Timmins. Every province and territory is represented. CTV's Lydia Chubak has more.
For the second time, the McIntyre Curling Club is hosting the Canadian U18 Curling Championships this week.
Typically, you don't see the turnaround of 3 years, but we know that we did such a successful job in 2023 that they just wanted to come back, and we try to treat everybody, as they're in the Olympics. So I think that's really bringing the pride too.
Every province and territory has a team here. Organizers say there are 21 male teams and 21 female teams, and they've brought along their #1 fans, including adoring parents and friends.
It's been pretty good so far. We've had fun playing, even though we've lost our games, but it's been fun playing against New Brunswick and Saskatchewan and PEI.
Hotel rooms are all full. The restaurants are, seeing a lot of business, a lot of economic spin-off. They've enjoyed some of our, our amenities.
One team in particular is enjoying some food that's unavailable at home.
We've only been to fast food places. I'd say McDonald's, since we don't have one up in Nunavut.
For some athletes, this is a chance of a lifetime. One Timmins curler is an alternate for Team Northern Ontario.
It would have been really sweet to qualify for nationals and play here, but it didn't happen. But I still got the wonderful opportunity to play on home ice, so I'm super grateful for that. But I will still continue playing in the U20 division of curling.
And even if trophies aren't won, athletes say the life lessons learned from curling will stay with them for years to come.
We've lost the provincial final, I think, four years in a row now. So I think the resilience and the real meaning of determination is really, it's cemented in my brain now that, you need to keep going when things get hard to, achieve your goals.
Curling Canada calls this event one of the world's largest youth curling stages. Games will continue throughout the week, with the final one being played on Saturday. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
A new medal and a hard loss at the Milano Cortina Winter Olympic Games. CTV's Scott Hurst has the latest on Canada's quest for gold.
Down and out. Captain of the Canadian women's hockey team, Marie-Philippe Poulin, did not play against the Americans on Tuesday. She's listed as day-to-day with a lower body injury after taking a hit into the boards during Canada's win over Czechia Monday night.
Losing her is obviously a big one because the United States have been the better team internationally over the last couple of years.
And the United States proved to be too strong on this day, beating Canada to remain undefeated in the preliminary round of the women's hockey tournament. Staying on the ice, Canada is back on the podium, this time in short track speed skating, a silver medal in the mixed relay event.
So close to the podium in Beijing, so it kind of feels special just coming back here and just getting ourselves on the podium.
A shared moment of joy for Kim Boutin, Courtney Sarreau, William Dangenou, and Felix Roussel. Florence Brunel and Stephen Dubois also getting medals for skating in the earlier rounds. Figure skater Stephen Gogolev with a strong performance in the men's singles short program with a score of 87.41, setting himself up for the free skate on Friday. So far so good for opening ceremony flag bearer Mikhail Kingsbury, third in moguls qualification, just behind his teammate, Quebec City's Julien Viel. Both are moving on to the finals. And making its Olympic debut, women's alpine team combined. One skier tackling the downhill speed event, the other racing the more technical slalom course. Canadians Valérie Grenier and Laurence Saint-Germain finishing 13th. So the medal count now stands at 3, 1 silver and 2 bronze, with more athletes in the mix for medals tomorrow, including in the ice dance final. 3 Canadian pairs, led by Piper Giles and Paul Poirier, third heading into the final event. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
And some athletes at the Winter Olympics are reporting their medals are breaking. A German biathlete's medal broke during a team celebration on Monday. Several other athletes have reported that their medals have come off of their bands. Games organizers say they are investigating the reports. U.S. gold medalist Breezy Johnson is advising medal winners to not jump while wearing their medals. An Oscar season tradition in Tinseltown is going away. David Daniel has that and more in the Hollywood Report.
The Motion Picture Academy reportedly is ending theatrical screenings of Oscar-nominated films. According to the Hollywood Reporter, the Academy informed members of the change last month. It says attendance at the screenings has dropped significantly since the Academy launched its members-only streaming service 7 years ago. Catherine Zeta-Jones is set to star in Cupid. The Oscar and Tony winner will play a marriage counselor who uses unusual and even dangerous methods to try to repair a couple's troubled relationship. The script is from the writers of another psychological thriller, Don't Worry, Darling.
Listen to me, we need help.
Oh, you need some help?
Send some.
If you can't get enough killer chimp action, Primate is headed to home video. The horror thriller arrives on digital platforms today and on Blu-ray and DVD April 21st, with more than 30 minutes of bonus content. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Canada's major air carriers are winding down flights to Cuba because of the fuel shortage on the island. BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez has more.
WestJet and Air Transat have joined Air Canada in suspending service to Cuba. The airlines are making arrangements to get travelers on the island now back home. Flights are suspended because Cuba has cut off the supply of jet fuel to its airports. The island relies on Venezuelan oil, but that tap was turned off when the U.S. took over Caracas. The shortage also hit resorts, leading to blackouts and closures. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up a fraction to 73.78. West Texas Intermediate is down to 64.16. Western Canadian Select is up to 48.69. And the TSX gained another 233 points today for a new record close. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold up $3.70, closing the day at $50.2539 U.S. an ounce. Silver slipped $1.01 to $80.77. Copper up 6 cents to $5.88, and nickel up a nickel, ending the day at $7.72 U.S. a pound. And Rick is back now for one last look at your Wednesday weather.
Lots of flurries right across Northeastern Ontario. Tony will check out some of the numbers. -5 in Greater Sudbury. Here you go. Chance of flurries in Sudbury, Timmins, Sault Ste. Marie. -9 the high in Timmins, and in the Sault at -4. Meanwhile, in North Bay, we've got a reading of -3 for tomorrow. Parry Sound -2 flurries, and 60% chance of flurries in Temiskaming Shores at -7. So don't forget, Tony. Sunny skies, at least some sunshine, warmer temperatures all coming up in just a few days. It'll be nicer, not as severe as it was today. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Rick. And finally, the Winter Games are in full swing, and many people sitting on their couches at home are probably wondering, could I do that? Now, a Toronto content creator is trying to answer that question. CTV's Jessica Smith has more on the out-of-shape Olympics.
Watching the Winter Olympics has a lot of people saying, maybe I could do that.
I think I could give a hand at ice dance because you don't need to do any of the crazy jumps or anything like that.
Ice dancing or downhill skiing is my forte.
Ice skating? Maybe singles, yeah. Because every time I partnered with someone, that's where I get confused or I'll trip over them. Yeah. So just singles, I think it's possible.
To answer the question how the average Joe or armchair athlete would stack up against an Olympian, Toronto content creator Simona Stallone decided to take on the challenge.
There's a lot of hard work that goes into making something look effortless, and the purpose of this is the comedic twist of this is to showcase that in probably one of the most extreme kind of experiments, but I'm here for it. I commit to the bit, and I'm doing it for the plot.
Stallone created a social media series called the Out of Shape Olympics during the 2024 Summer Games, trying over 20 sports. Now she's back trying her hand at the Winter Games.
I think the whole purpose of the series, obviously, is one, to have fun, but two, is to really showcase how amazing these Olympians are. This is Ewan.
How's it going?
Ski patrol.
During every attempt, safety precautions are taken, reaching out to professionals in each sport she tries.
I reached out to Mount St. Louis. I was like, hey, this is my idea. This is what I want to do. They were super perceptive, and they were very excited to be a part of it. But at the end of the day, they're like, hey, we're going to assign a ski patroller with you the entire day.
The hardest Winter Games sports she's tried so far.
I did do bobsledding, and I did do skeleton. And skeleton was the scariest thing I've ever done in my life.
But her favorite, a Canadian classic.
Oh my gosh, I love curling so much. I never expected to like it that much. I went in really with no expectations. What a sport.
Showing that no matter what place an Olympian finishes in, their hard work and dedication are a testament to their incredible skill level.
Up next for Stallone, she's going to try her hand at figure skating events along with a little bit of snowboarding to continue to show her support for the Winter Olympics and its athletes in her own special way. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
Well done. And folks, that's CTV News at 6. I'm Tony Ryma. Thanks so much for watching. More news comes your way at 11:30 with Ian Campbell. Good night.